Thank you, Rabbi. My question is more general. Why do the rabbis use David as an example so much when he committed practically every sin in the book?
Well, first of all, you shouldn't exaggerate. He wasn't an American president. He couldn't do so many sins. That is one thing. But basically, he didn't commit all the sins in the world. He did some things that were surely very wrong. Usually, and that is the kind. He had a life that wasn't a life of just frivolity and of doing things to excess or trying to take advantage of people. So basically, and that is the story. Sometimes even the wonder, how comes that a person that is a righteous person and an honorable person and a saintly person comes to do such things, and we don't have good answers for it, even though we say that in a way the story of David and the fact that it wasn't censored out of the books. Just think about it. It is easy just not to mention the story. It was a story. It happened some times ago, and nobody now cares about it, so we can delete it. The point is, it is mentioned. It is mentioned to say that nobody can be above the ability of making a mistake, even of sinning willfully. The real point, and that is why when we take to David. David is in a certain way the Psalms of David, not so much the history of David. The Psalms of David are an expression of a person that is devoted and is connected, and his life is always with this kind of a connection. It is a love and not so much obedience. It is love. It's a tie with God. And also a person that is suffering for reasons that are his fault, and most of the things that are not his fault. But you see, in that sense, we take him because if you want to do it, and I would say something that's possibly shouldn't be said aloud, and surely not to America. See, when we take David as the sweet songer of Israel, we take David as one of the greatest generals that Israel had. We take David as a person that created a nation. We take David as a person with so many talents. Then we sometimes feel, okay, that is David, and where is me? I am not at the same level. Now, the sin of David is one of the things that we can at least, if we don't understand his greatness, we can at least understand his sin. So in that sense, we are connected. So we mention him because he is in a different way. He is in some way with his talents, with his beauty, with his ability to suffer, to do other things. What does he do? He is as a personification of a person. He is the person. That is why not only we as Jews that have a special connection, but so many millions, many millions, hundreds of millions of people recite the Psalms of David because he is for them the picture, perhaps an exalted picture of themselves. So there is the picture of themselves, also with the flaws and with the glory. So we understand the flaws sometimes, and sometimes we are too much connected to them. On the other side, and we see the glory. So it is a kind of something that it becomes. So David is in fact, David is what I can become if I work enough on that. So it's not just as a person. There are people that in a certain way, a normal human being cannot really be an imitation of Moses. It's too far removed. and too high up. With David, I can have a connection. That's why he's mentioned so many times. He's mentioned so many times because he's what we are supposed to be. Ups and downs, and at the end, as they say, which is a very important statement, even though it is not written in the Psalms of David, but in the wisdom of Solomon. The righteous falls 7 times and stands up. That is the story of David. You can fall, you can fall practically, you can fall militarily, you can fall even spiritually, but you stand up and you go on. And that's what this David is.
Thank you. Rabbi Steinsaltz, we read that David studies Torah for the sake of avoiding his death. What does that say about the purpose of Torah study? Don't we have a tradition that asks us to study for the sake of study?
Oh, of course we study for the sake of study. Studying as a charm is a very small charm. But in a way, nobody wants. The people wrote poetry about it. There is even lots of English poetry about all the charms of the angel of death, about the beauty of the angel of death, about the glory of the angel of death. You have, if you go through English literature, especially English, and you can find lots of writings about this. So, in a way, our people in general, we don't like him, the angel of death, and we don't want to meet him. So, David wants to be on the safe side, and he says, as long as I'm doing it, the harm won't touch me. But if I'm learning for that, it's not enough. It's not enough even for to save me from the angel of death. I'm learning, and I'm studying. I'm studying because studying is in many ways a kind of our way of becoming it. Again, sorry for the language. For us, studying is basically a communion with the Lord. But while on the side of what David says, okay, well, while I am commuting with and connected with the Lord, the angel of death shouldn't interfere. So that is an aside. It is not the reason why he studies. He studies before, he studies later. But he doesn't want to be entangled with this angel. And again, as we spoke all about it before, is whatever it is in paradise, it is perhaps a better thing to be here and to do what we can do instead of going to paradise and be free and nice and perhaps happy.